Alrighty guys, it is Qaaman here today, and I'm bringing you another Dragon Ball Z segment on Who is the Real Hercule? Now let me just say that you guys can probably tell that I'm very sick based off of my voice, but I decided that I should muscle it out and give you guys a topic, as I know that you guys have been waiting a little bit for the next Dragon Ball Z segment. So without wasting any more time, let's get straight into this video, as I will discuss facts, interesting observations, and my insight on the character Hercule / Mr. Satan himself. So without wasting any more time, let's get straight into this video. So, Hercule, also known as Mr. Satan, is an obvious name pun on the word Satan, which is the biblical term used to describe Lucifer or the devil himself. His daughter Videl is a name pun on the word devil, as you can scramble the words a bit to find devil in her name. But one interesting fact about Hercule is that according to the Dragon Ball Full Color Interview Volume 5 on the Cell Saga, Akira Toriyama said that Hercule's real name is actually Mark, and that where he is from, people don't split names into both first names and surnames. He also said that Mr. Satan is actually just a stage name, and you guys will actually find the origins of that later on in the video. But for those of you who are curious, Mr. Satan got the name Hercule in the Funimation dub because of the fact that they didn't want to use the name Satan for Judeo-Christian audiences in the Western Hemisphere. And let's just be serious here. Do you honestly think parents would want to hear their kids or teens watching a show where people worship or praise a man called Mr. Satan? Well, that brings up a debate as to whether or not the Dragon Ball series is a kid's show, which is another topic for another day. But there you have the origins of his name. Now, moving on to Mr. Satan's wife, many of you are aware that Hercule had a wife that Videl mentions in the Funimation dub, where she states ever since mom left, implying that her mother may have walked out on them. In the manga, Videl directly stated ever since mom died, questioning a lot of fans to speculate about Hercule's wife. Now, in the anime, Hercule had a promoter called Miss Pizza, obviously a pun for the food pizza, and there was a brief scene where Hercule was holding her, and she stated that he hadn't held her like that in a while, implying that the two possibly had a sexual encounter, in which many fans speculated that Hercule's affair with Miss Pizza could have been the reason for Videl's mom leaving in the anime. Also, there are some fans that have also speculated that Miss Pizza could have also have been the mother of Videl herself. However, in the Dragon Ball Full Color interview with Akira Toriyama, he stated that Hercule's wife is named Miguel, which is a Spanish derivative of Michael, which is a name meaning archangel. However, the only thing that Toriyama has ever mentioned about his wife Miguel was that her name caused a big fuss, as it was very ironic that a quote-unquote archangel would marry a person who was referred to as Mr. Satan, based off of the contrast in their name during their marriage. However, the fact that Akira Toriyama said during their marriage can imply that they may have divorced before Miguel had died, or it could just mean during their marriage as a whole. But either way, going from the manga, Videl's mother died of unknown causes. And for those of you who are curious, although it is less common, Miguel can be referred to a female in Spanish. It's just not as common as it is used for males. Another interesting fact about Mr. Satan is the fact that there is an origin as to why he acts so cowardly. According to the 2014 Sakio Jump issue, Toriyama stated the origins of Hercule, and in it he stated that when he was young, he attended a dojo called the Satan Castle. Toriyama also said that Mr. Satan possessed considerable power for a regular human, and with some luck, such as Hercule's rival opponent getting food poisoning, he eventually became the world champion and was called Mr. Satan because of the name of his dojo. However, one day on a tour in South City, Hercule and his unnamed master went to a bar and made fun of Mercenary Tao's hairstyle. Toriyama didn't mention why they made fun of him, but it's assumed that they were probably drunk. After that, Mercenary Tao killed Hercule's master, and Hercule was severely injured himself. And it is because of that event that Hercule always cowers from opponents who are potentially stronger or who have unknown powers, and that's why he always makes excuses that he has a stomach ache or any other excuse every time that he feels that he cannot defeat an opponent in a fight. So that's why Hercule is a coward. Now, as far as my observations go, I have always wondered how strong Hercule was. And according to Toriyama, he was able to win the Tenkaichi Budokai tournament when Goku and his friends weren't around on his own, and that he is really strong on a normal human level. This is shown when Hercule was able to defeat Spopovich in the anime-only flashback on his own. This leads me to agree with Expergamez in his theory video that Hercule is probably as strong as Bruce Lee or maybe good old Chuck Norris. But from what has been said, he is clearly weaker than Mercenary Tao. Speaking of Spopovich, during his fight where he brutally damaged Videl, I have always felt that part of the reason he was so brutal was not only because of the fact that he was possessed by Babidi, but part of it was due to the fact that Hercule had defeated him beforehand, and Spopovich would have wanted to have taken his revenge out against Videl because of the fact that Hercule had defeated him. Because of Spopovich's fight with Videl, I have also used that as a gauge to determine how strong Babidi's Majin magic was, proportionally, as a character weaker than Hercule can get much stronger than Hercule's daughter Videl, even though, respectively, compared to really powerful fighters, Videl and Hercule are pretty weak, but I still felt that it's still enough to consider the fact that proportionally Babidi's magic can definitely make a huge difference in a fighter's power, especially since Videl was stronger than Hercule by that point. Also, I find it interesting to note that Hercule is the only character from the main cast on Earth to not die throughout the main series up until the end of the Buu saga, as almost everyone died when Super Buu used his human extinction attack and when he turned everyone into chocolate and ate them. This also includes when Kid Buu destroyed the rest of the Z fighters by blowing up Earth. This also includes the several characters that had also died prior to the Majin Buu arc. So guys, that has been my video for today. I plan to do 2 top 10 moments of Hercule in the future after doing this video first. I know I was sick, but I thought you guys would enjoy this Who is the Real topic, and if you guys want another Who is the Real, choose a duo segment between Dodoria and Zarbon or Pui Pui and Yakon. To vote, just like my comment saying to vote for a certain character in the comment section, and whichever one gets more likes in the span of a week will be put on schedule earlier, but both will eventually get done. But please don't like both comments, as it makes it harder to determine what you guys want to see more. But most importantly, over everything else, please remember to rate, comment, and subscribe, and remember, as I always say, to have a great day, guys.